TraderInsight.com. I'm Julie Manns. This is the trade I gave you last night, trade idea I gave you last night for today's trading. I just wanted to show you that live, what's happening. This is CMS. You can see we had an entry here at 46.95. That was off of the plan yesterday. Adrian had this set up for traders the night before that, so the next morning they knew exactly what they could do, what was possible, and where we were looking to get in and get out, both with stops and targets. These lines here, this is our entry line. This is the 50% to target as per the trading plan, and this is the target. Today we have the opportunity to try that again. You could see it was horizontal yesterday and it triggered, but never really, we got out flat. Today it actually took off. Sometimes that happens. That's why I give you these trade ideas. And here we are in CMS a little bit later in the day. You can see that, again, from this morning, it made it from where we were looking at our entry all the way down to where the target was. If you had that automated, that went well. If not, you got out at 50%, which is what I did. Had the opportunity later in the day to come back, hit our price, go from the green pivot to the yellow pivot, and then looking again to see if it can't make it down to that target again. I'm not in this second entry. If I were, I'd be pulling my stop up behind this to the 46.62 level, 60-ish level, and then just pull it on down behind. It's a second entry, so you never know. Let's see what else happened here today. 5 was another one that we had as a extra inning idea. It opened gap lower. If you had your trades automated, then you could have had this S1 pivot down to the S2 pivot, the green to the yellow. If you were not automated, then what you would do is wait for this pullback that it happened today. And I will be looking to see for a second entry if it goes from the red down to the green and then again down to the yellow pivot. Over here on the daily, you can see there is room to the downside and it might close down that way. So let's see what we have on deck for tomorrow. The other two that we had didn't really perform, and let's get some forward looking and see what I'm going to have in my list for tomorrow. Let's start with GMED. This was on our stocks to watch portion of our regular plan for today, meaning it had setups from the night before. It has just now triggered, and we'll see if it goes anywhere. If it does not drift lower today, if it stays around this same entry level, then I will look for more opportunity in GMED for tomorrow to the downside. SERV, this is also on our stocks to watch portion. This was a long. You can see that it hasn't yet triggered. We had a trigger price above here and right above these highs of yesterday. So that is what we were looking at today, around 95, 53.95. If it heads up and closes strongly into the close, you can see here on the daily that it hasn't actually broken yesterday's high, as you see there on the 5-minute as well. If it does do that, then I'll look for that tomorrow if it closes. Let's move on to MTCH. This was on our XRV program today. It did trigger, but barely, and then pulled back. So what I'm going to do is look and see if it can't move further. You see on the daily over here that it had a huge day yesterday. So sometimes they take a pause day, and this makes for a great extra inning trade idea the day after the trade day. So that's for tomorrow to the downside. And finally, let's have a look at SABR. This is not to be confused with the SABR. This is SABR Corp. This is a different stock. And I will look to the long side for this one. If it trades again, it was a gap day yesterday. You can see over on the daily. I'm looking at these highs here. And if it can close strongly today, I will look for that for follow through tomorrow to the upside. If this is a pause day for it, wow, that's the time you want to hop in for the next day. Hope everyone had a great trading day. Email me, Julie@traderinsight.com if you have questions. Thanks.